when it comes to aging, you got all different kinds of agers, okay? I'm going to say this and then I ain't going to say nothing else, okay? You got about 5 different types of agers based on what I can think of, okay? You got your vanity ager, okay? You got that person is going to do everything in their power to make sure they don't look their age. That person is going to do everything to keep aging away from them. You hear me? That person is going to get all types of eye stuff done. They're going to get noses done. They're going to get lip injections. Honey, they're going to get breast lifts. They're going to get butt lifts. They're going to get penis strength. They're going to get vagina tightening. Listen, they are going to do everything in their power to keep aging away from them. They ain't gonna tell you their age, man or woman. You ask them how old you are. Oh, a woman will say, "Oh, we don't tell our aging." Honey, they gonna do everything in their power to keep aging away from them. Now they ain't gonna do nothing but that. They're totally vain. They want to look good. They want everything on the outside to look good. Do you understand me? That's that vanity ager, honey. They gonna fight aging with everything in them, everything on the outside. Okay. Then you got the healthy ager. Okay. The healthy ager is the ager that just want to be strong. They want to be strong. Okay. They concentrate on the inside. Yes, they all right with how they look. You know, they accept how they look. They ain't gonna do no whole lot of nothing. They might use a little serum here, but the vanity ager gonna use serum. That vanity ager gonna use everything. Okay, that's the number 1 ager. But the number 2 ager is more health conscious. So they might use a little serum and they might do a little something, but for the most part, they gonna work out. They're going to do anything they can do to be strong, okay? They care, but they're going to eat right. They're going to eat halfway right, okay? They realize that they're getting up in age, so they're going to, and if they haven't been eating right, they're going to start eating right because they realize that with aging, you lose muscle. Okay. With aging, you lose immunity. With aging, you lose a lot of stuff. So they want to replace that stuff. They want to replace and use supplements and be healthy and keep their mind strong, keep their body strong. They're more into that. They're going to work out, maybe a couple of times a week, just like the vanity ager. The vanity ager may work out though, okay? But the vanity ager mainly is once again concerned about how they look, all right? Then the healthy ager is not concerned about how they look. The healthy ager is mainly concerned about how they feel, all right? So they're going to do everything they can do to feel as good as they can. They might indulge once in a while. They might drink once in a while, and they might even drink, okay? But for the most part, they concentrate on their body and making sure they are healthy. Okay, that's the healthy ager. Okay, then you got the embracer ager. That's number 3. You got that ager, that person that's aging and they embrace it. I'm aging. Look. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing and what nobody else do. I'm embracing my aging. Okay, I'm embracing it with everything I got. I ain't gonna do all this vanity stuff. I ain't gonna do all that healthy stuff. I might do a little bit of it. I might dibble and dabble here and there, but for the most part, I ain't doing all that. Okay, I'm aging. I get that I'm aging. Hey, everybody, I'm aging. Look, yeah, any senior citizen discounts, they want them. They gonna take them. They listen. They don't care if you card them or if you don't. Okay, they're nothing like the vanity ager. The vanity ager loves it when they get carded, but the embracer, oh no, the embracer say no, baby. Now, look, I'm aging. Look here. When am I gonna retire? When is retirement coming? That's all y'all need to tell me. When it's time for me to retire, the embracer will know how to teach you. The embracer can teach the vanity ager and the healthy ager a thing or two because the embracer ager, they embrace their aging and they ready for retirement. Huh? You hear me? They done gave it life all they could give it. Whenever God say what God got to say, they fine with it. They don't want to necessarily go nowhere, but they have just embraced their aging. They want all the senior discounts, anything you can give them, anything they'll call them for. Look here, I'm a senior citizen. Yeah, well, wasn't I supposed to get a discount? So that's the embracer, okay? Then you got the careless ager, all right? The careless ager don't give two damns in a bucket of ice, okay? They aging, they accept it, they receive it, they also embrace it. They might not have had the kind of life where they can care. They live by the motto, I ain't come here with nothing, I might die with nothing. They live by the motto that they can eat anything they want to eat. Look, something gonna take me out. That's their attitude. That's how they live. That's how they think. That's how they feel. All right. So they not only embrace their aging, they could care less. They're not gonna do any of the things that the vanity ager does. They're not gonna do any of the things that the healthy ager does. They're not gonna. They embrace their aging. They just are coasting along. They really don't care. Like, I mean, they care, but not really care. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have not lived a life. They almost have the careless ager. Now, the careless ager could be somebody who was a citizen, a good citizen in society. And the careless ager could also be somebody who never worked, didn't put in a lot of hours, in the system where they can really collect a social security check. They've lived with people pretty much all their life. They just don't care. They just, if they go to the RIP, they go to the RIP. I mean, listen, 9 times out of 10, they don't have no insurance policy. They don't care about an insurance policy. They don't care about, they might think about it once in a while, but for the most part, it's just not a big deal to them. Living or passing away is just not a big deal to them. They are just pretty much coasting along. They don't give two damns in a bucket of ice. If they have children, God bless them. Okay, if they have family members, God bless them too. Once, and their attitude also is when I close my eyes, I ain't gonna know. That's the careless ager. That's that person that you see a lot of them in the retirement homes. Okay, they might have had relationships with people, family, and friends and stuff, but they just coasted along in life. And usually the careless ager is that person that really doesn't care. I hate to say it like that, and you got a variety of careless agers, okay? Some careless agers have worked all their life. They worked all their life, same job. They just worked all their life. They coasted through life. That's how they felt about living. The same way they feel about living is the same way they feel about going away from here. That's the careless ager. And then you got the last, number 5 is the aging gracefully ager. Okay, that ager has natural beauty. That ager, in fact, probably looked like an ugly duckling in high school and maybe even in their 20s and 30s. But honey, so as they got older, they got attractive, or they were always just this beautiful person, just a very attractive person. And the aging graceful person is doing just that. They a lot of them are spiritual. A lot of them are just but really their aging is in their natural beauty. Okay, they are just built nice. They don't deal with a lot of wrinkles, and their hair, they still got a full head of hair. People always tell them they look good for their age. And I mean, they not fighting nothing. They're not fighting. They're not vain. They're not worried about health. I mean, they go to the doctor. They got good blood pressures and all kinds of stuff. So the person that's aging gracefully truly is blessed. They don't embrace aging, and they don't not embrace it. They just aging gracefully, and they know it because people always tell them, wow, you look good. How old did you say y'all? They'll tell you their age. Oh yeah, well, I'm 62, I'm 72, I'm 75, I'm 80. They happily tell you their age because they know that they have something special. They know that they may not have had it when they were coming up, and they may have always had it. They may have always been a pretty person, but A lot of them that are aging gracefully, a lot of them didn't have it. And so they are just embracing that. They're embracing the fact that they're aging gracefully, and they are right with it. They work. Some of them have worked and they got retirement. Some of them are embracing their retirement. Some of them are not embracing. Some of them are ready to retire. Some of they're not shying away from aging. They're not running away from aging. They're not doing anything. They just basically aging gracefully. They are truly those people who are just blessed. They're just blessed, beyond blessed. And they're just really good looking. They're good to look at, honey. So those are my 5 um, um, you know, aging categories. Okay. So if you are either number 1, the vanity ager, or number 2, the healthy ager, or number 3, the embracer, where you are ready to retire. Number 4, you're the careless ager. You don't give 2 dams in a bucket of ice. Number 5, you're aging gracefully. Wherever you are in this aging process, I hope that you do everything in your power to, if you don't do anything else, okay, whichever category you're in, whether you're the vanity ager who think you're going to do everything you can to keep that aging away, or the healthy ager who's going to do everything you can to be strong. That is where I land. I think that when it comes to aging, that if we don't do anything else, we need to do everything we can to be strong. Have an amazing day.